Let's see here. Anybody else got any questions? Go ahead.
Can we get in like the scriptures? I'm asking because of last. It's not like I'm trying to get into that, but like when I become an officer, it's like I want to teach it. You know what I mean? But like I ain't asking because I want to do anything like that.
You teach what?
Like the weed scriptures.
Oh, scriptures on weed.
Yeah, the one.
All right. Okay. By request, I want to record that one. All right, so let's do this. I'm gonna give you some scriptures for your notebook that's like UPK Truth 101, right, for weed. But I want to do a whole class on it because I got a different take on it. So a bit different from everybody else's. We good to go on the tube? All right. So go ahead.
We can do that later, like if you can't right now. Like I ain't trying to like tell you what to do in your class out of one.
Yeah, I know, but you came to class, right?
Yes, sir.
I came to class. Then you know something. I got you. Now, what I'm saying, I ain't spelling it like on that week. Next week, it'll be next week. Week after that, we'll do it. But I want to make some of the scriptures now so you'll have them. All right. My smoking weed is worship. And culture set anything on fire for the sake of getting high. We set things on fire way to as an appeal. You know what I'm saying? Like a sacrifice will be burned at the altar, different things like that. The children were worshiping Baal. It's like they are burnt like a sweet savor to the Lord. Okay. Practice start 123 Street, New York. 19 the commander Yohana now. He's at the helm. I am priest at Kamar, Asheville, Florida. Where brothers they faith, truth, cap, and you can just get a boot kiss. Because we watch text and we watch New York. Just feel how the Lord is chosen to raise up some beach down here in Florida, one of the most racist states in America. All right. Somebody got the scriptures? Let's roll. I ain't gonna spend a whole bunch of time on the brother on some scriptures. Let's get this one. Go ahead.
Genesis chapter 1,
verse
29.
Yep.
And God said, behold, I have given you every herb bearing seed.
When I was a Rastafarian, we used to use this. See, the Lord gave you the herb. He said, I have given you every herb. Go ahead.
Which is upon the face of all the earth.
Right.
And every tree.
And every tree. The Lord gave us the trees. Hey.
In the which is the fruit of a tree yielding seed.
Right.
To you it shall be for meat.
It shall be for what?
Meat.
It shall be to smoke.
It shall be for meat.
It shall be to get high.
It shall be for meat.
Listen, the Lord put herbs on earth for you to eat. It is a medicine. It is food. It is not supposed to be to smoke. One. All right. Give me 1 second. Let me give you like one or two more. Give me Proverbs 16 and 27. Proverbs 16. Yeah, go ahead.
Proverbs chapter 16, verse 24.
You got verse 24? What did I say?
27?
I believe I said 27, but if you got 24 in your notes, it might be a reason. Go on, give me 27.
27. An ungodly man is of evil.
What a man?
An ungodly man.
An ungodly man, a man who does not follow the law, statutes, and commandments, a man that's doing his own thing, a man who wants to serve himself, give up evil. Now, this can be taken plenty of ways, but in here, how we was in this breakdown is, what is he digging up? He's digging that weed. He's digging up that cocaine. He's digging up that matter of the Lord used for good. He's digging it up and using it for evil, right? And keep going.
Oh God. And in his lips there is a burning fire.
And in his lips, he got that fire. He's setting something on fire in between his lips. What is that? Everybody know what we're talking about. It's not like it's a rhetorical question. So this is what the ungodly men do. Go ahead.
The fire would be like a blunt.
The fire would be a blunt, or nowadays it'll be a pipe. They smoke weed out of glass pipe now, right? They call that joint. I can't even think about it.
The hookah.
Not the hookah. I ain't talking about the hookah. I'm talking about the little wax joint. Them people be. I can't think of it. Go ahead. Yeah, that too. But they're dabs. The dab joints. It look like crack rock, but it's THC in it. For those who don't know what I'm talking about, I'm just trying to explain it. Yeah, all of that, you got to put fire to it, and you got to put it to your lips. But what it all boiled down to, all right? So I just gave you a couple of the words that you'll hear. Like, my whole breakdown is over an hour. I do have it up somewhere, unless I took it down. But I'm going to go ahead and make sure, try to bring that out sometime soon. You know what I'm saying? Just remember, your body is the temple of the Most High. Put things in your body that's going to make you stronger, that's going to make you able to fight the demons that's on you, not to be like, oh, it ain't really that serious. You know what I'm saying? If you plan on being a warrior and a soldier, you cannot be laid back. I remember before I came into the truth, I used to smoke a lot, and then I would watch Hebrew Israelite videos. And one thing about ISUPK videos, it didn't allow you to be high and watch that video. I used to be, why them niggas yelling? What are they so mad at? Now I know what they mad at. Somebody tell me what they mad at. Go ahead. Oppression makes a righteous man mad. A wise man mad. I was not wise. I thought it was all good. Don't worry about a thing, because every little thing gonna be all right. It's not. It's time to go to war. Lace up your boots. Stop letting the white man rule, and let's get this kingdom back up under a black man by the name of Yahushua. All right. So that's a little couple of minutes I'm gonna spend on weed for right now. You good, Trooper? Trooper, Gabar. All right, you too wild?
Yes, sir.
All right, we're gonna get some more of that later. All right, somebody else, give me Hebrews 5 and 12. And anybody else got any questions?
Here.
Go ahead, sis.
Yeah, I just did. Shalom, Israel. Are we on general questions or on topic?
We are. It ain't. I haven't even started the topic yet. The brother had asked a question. I told him I was going to do a whole class on weed and everything in a couple of weeks. He just wanted a couple of scriptures, so I just gave him a couple of talk. So there is no topic yet.
Oh, did you remember my last question? Did you get on it?
What was this? What was this question?
I wanted to know the scripture on body odor, like what to do about it.
What to do about it?
Yeah, like okay.
Okay, hold on.
In the scripture, it says about like being unclean, as far as being unclean.
Okay, remember, I believe I answered this pretty quickly, but I told you I was going to get some more information on whether there's some scriptures on it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you remember what I said as far as being unclean has nothing to do with body odor. When you talk about being unclean, it's talking about to perform the duties of the priest or to be around other Israelites. When you talk about body odor and being unclean, it's a little bit different. Now it is, I believe this is the part I gave you last time. It is Israelite culture before we had everything. That's why the Pharisees was saying that Yahushua and his disciples were breaking the rules because they was eating without washing their hands. I did not go and ask that question, sis. Thawak for reminding me. Let me see if I can get that for you before Sunday. All right. Salak, you there?
What was the question? I just got out. Shalom, everybody. Shalom. What's going on, warrior? All right, I just got in, man. I heard you say you didn't ask that question, man. If I could, I'll answer it.
Kind of what kind? Go ahead and ask the question, sis.
I had a specific question about body odor. It's in regards to being unclean, like if you have like an issue. So like something internal, like it's not external, like if you have like a sore and like pus and it's bleeding and it but I meant like if you have something internal and it causes you to have like if you have certain like it emits a certain odor, like what would you do about it? Would you have to stay away from people because you're emitting an odor and it might maybe due to an underlying disease? Or even if it's not a disease, but you just have a current issue that's causing you to have an odor?
Okay, so you're saying there's no issue, meaning there's no blood, which is from the law, right? There's no issue, but you're saying, I guess,
okay.
Whatever.
As far as being a female, right? It's not blood, but let's say you're emitting an odor down in the vagina, and it could be a bacterial infection, like an imbalance of the pH, but gives an odor to the point where, of course, you're not going to have intercourse. I mean, does it consider you being unclean, even though it's not blood coming out of you, but it's just, especially if you're having discharge and things like that?
Now you want to go and get, checked. All right. First of all, of course, where there is no law, there is no sin, right? So, because somebody got an odor or what have you, that's not unlawful. You know what I'm saying? Now, the spirit of brotherhood tonight, I wouldn't be around nobody. You understand? Like, I wouldn't be around nobody just in the spirit of brotherhood. I mean, I'm sure nobody would. I'm sure nobody would do that. Like if you got something, you can go and get checked. This is, like the scripture where Ecclesiasticus in Ecclesiastes 38. The position needs to be consulted on this matter. Like it's not a clean or what have you. But you know, an odor or whatever, that's not unlawful. You know, it's not saying, you know, the scripture does not tell you if you ain't, you know, smelling your greatest, then don't come to you know, you know, shower the shower, put some water in, whatever else if you got but if you don't have an issue, that's not, you know, going with the law, you in your place, position, and see if there's something that can be done by it, you know, just for, you know, hygiene, sake, you know, the spirit of brotherhood. Like I don't want to be around nobody. I don't want to offend nobody. You know what I'm saying? The scripture says if you know something you know it, if you eating something that would offend another brother, don't do it. Well, my odor is for sure offensive. So I wouldn't be around somebody else that, you know what I'm saying, if I'm, you know, in that condition. But no, it's not unlawful because you have an odor.
Okay, so I just know, like, just how you went out, you know, especially when you're married and whatnot. So just want to make sure that you don't cross certain lines or.
Salaki, sir.
One second, hold on real quick. You know, so like, okay, like what I'm saying though, if there's no law, there is no sin. So you're not crossing any lines. The lines are the law. You know what I'm saying? What the Lord say, you got to do what you can do. That's the line. Don't cross that line. If there's no law, then there is no sin. You haven't done anything wrong. You know, I mean, if your husband don't have a problem with it, if, you know, he good or whatever the case is, you good to go. You know what I'm saying? As long as there's nothing that goes against the laws of the Most High. So, you know, and that goes for any situation. You know, it's not, you wanna understand the law in terms of like, you know, we've always been taught, you know, where there's no law, there's no sin. If there's the law, you're good to go. It's not nothing that you have to be stressed over or whatever. Am I crossing the line? Then I'm telling you now, law tells you, you know, asking the question, like, you know, there's no issue. Well, if there's the law, that's where you can't do certain things. You know what I'm saying? You're supposed to do it this way or not do it that way. That's the line. If you within the law, you know what I'm saying? You know, the officer, he does the class, you know, he used to call it the milk class, you know what I'm saying? He call it a 101, which ain't down. And it's just the things that we need to know. We need so that, you know, we understand, learn to, you know, understand the spirit of the law, what everything is. And again, like, even though there's no law, says, you know, I can't be stank around somebody, and in the spirit, I'm not going to be stank around nobody. That's not, you know what I'm saying? Or I'll be around other brothers. Turkey on today in November, if it offends my brother, I'm not doing it. Even though it's law, it's law against the spirit of brotherhood, I'm not doing it. And you gotta understand this spirit of, you know what I mean? Like, said, oh, you got an issue, you can't do this. The spirit of the law is, I don't want to offend my brother. I want to keep his brotherhood strong. I want to keep this nation strong. I don't want nobody to get something else around me like, she to do that. She coming around, she knows she like that. How will she learn the spirit of the law with it out? You know what I'm saying? Look, sis, nah, you know, maybe it's one sister that might say something. We ain't show up to this event or that or whatever. You know, dealing with something or what have you, you know. He might not want to come around. Girl, please, I'm coming. I'm going to be there. All right, well, listen, you know, that's all. So, go ahead, officer.
Salaki, I was just going to have the brother read the law so she make sure that she wasn't saying something else, because she said it was just blood, but it's more than just blood. So I was just going to have the brother read the law just in case. I wanted to make sure she had what she was saying first.
Say that again. You said she said it was just blood.
What I was saying is I wanted to make sure she understood it wasn't just blood that made you unclean. if you had something else going on, like, you know, how Captain explained it, how I heard it, if anything comes out of you, you know what I'm saying, then you're unclean until sundown or whatever the case may be. So I just wanted to read the law. So
Okay, go ahead. No sweat.
go ahead, Cooper, 15 and 1.
Come. Leviticus chapter 15, verse 1. And the Most High spake unto Moses and to Aaron, saying, speaking to the children of Israel, and say unto them, when a man have a running issue out of his flesh, because of his issue he is unclean. And this shall be his uncleanness in his issue, whether his flesh run with his issue or his flesh be stopped from his issue. It is his uncleanness. Every bed whereon he lieth that have the issue is unclean.
This is an actual man who got something going on with him too. But he being treated the same way as if it was a sister who was on flower or whatever the case may be. So it's just like if anything.
Understand this. Okay. The issue. Okay, this is what you want to do first. What you want to do is look up issue in the Bible dictionary first. Because issue, like you said, it could be something, but what the hell else is coming out of you but blood? If a man he's got an issue coming out of his flesh. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I mean, you have semen and you got blood, you know what I'm saying, which are, you know, along the same lines, but of course not the same thing. You know what I'm saying? You got an issue. I mean, ain't no man gonna be having semen coming out of him continue. You know, so this thing that it's talking about, let's get the definition first.
All right, Trey, you got it? Go ahead.
Strong's Bible Dictionary. 1, to flow, issue, discharge. To flow, gush. 2, to die, pine away, figuratively. 3, to flow, of issue from woman, have an issue, of flux, or flowing, menstrual.
What was that last word?
Menstrual.
Menstrual, right?
Con.
Talking about, right, this blood. You know what I'm saying? Like anything that's gonna gush out of you, like you gush blood, brother. You have a blood flow that's coming out of you for whatever reason. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I'm not, you know, privy to any diseases that would cause that to happen, but you got so many fluids in you. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, you got blood, you got semen, you know what I'm saying? You got urine, I guess, you know what I'm saying, would be the only other flow or gushing that would come out of you, you know what I'm saying? And that's what it's talking about. Like if a man has something where he's got a flow or an issue, he's bleeding, he's got that issue. That's why it says it about the woman, her menstrual. The brother just read it, you know what I'm saying? Like menstrual flow, that's something that it pertains and we're talking about blood. That's the thing that, you know, the issue that's coming out of her. You understand what I'm saying? So even with a brother, you know what I'm saying, if he's got something and he's bleeding, I know a brother asked me, you know, nosebleed or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, you have a nosebleed, you know what I'm saying? If it's continuous, you can't stop to whatever, you go and get that thing checked. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, a brother's nose bleeding, that's not going to, you know, it has to be a continuous flow of gushing, you know what I'm saying? Like if that's the case, then you would be unclean, you know what I'm saying? But if my nose bled today, I'm not unclean, you know what I'm saying? If I cut myself today, I'm not unclean. It's not gushing, it's not a continuous flow. Like, for instance, a period or, you know, the menstrual flow that's continuous, it's coming out. You understand the difference? Like, you know what I'm saying? I cut myself, you know, gash my arm or whatever, you stop the blood. It's not continuous. It's not something where it's you know, a situation where I don't know why this is happening or it's not stopping for now or what have you. So it's the same thing with a man. A man doesn't have a menstrual cycle, but he might be, you know, with something where it'll cause him to bleed or whatever, and you don't want, you know what I'm saying? That's what makes you unclean. But me cutting myself does not make me unclean.
To flow, gush, issue, discharge. 2, to die, pine away, figuratively. 3, to flow, of issue, from woman having an issue of flux.
Right.
A seminal,
So, you know what I'm saying? Oh, Salaki, go ahead. I ain't know you had more.
last part, a seminal or menstrual.
A what?
Seminal. Like semen. Semen or menstrual.
You sound far away. Say it one more time.
Seminal, like semen or menstrual.
Oh, exactly, right. So semen is one, you know what I'm saying? If you lay with your woman, if you had a, you know what I'm saying, nocturnal emission or what have you, you're unclean because of that, you know what I'm saying? It came up out of you or whatever, you know what I'm saying? But the rest of it is a flow, you know what I'm saying? Like a flow of blood or a gushing of blood, you know what I'm saying? Semen is something, you know what I mean? Like I say, it's on the same line, but it's a little bit different. Like you actually cause that to happen by laying with your woman, you know what I'm saying? But there's other issues where you're not causing, a woman doesn't cause a period to happen, or if you got an illness, you're not causing it to happen. It's flowing and you can't stop it. It's, you know, like that. So, like I was telling the sister, you know, as long as it's not within those lines, you good to go. You know what I'm saying? If you cut yourself, you know, you was, you know, cooking up some food, you cut yourself, you cut your finger, whatever, you know what I'm saying? That's not going to make you unclean to where, you know what I'm saying, if you touch your husband or you lay with your husband or whatever, he's unclean. You know, not because of that, you know what I'm saying, not because of the cut. You know what I'm saying? Blood is a flow. It's a continuous thing. It's like a menstrual cycle is, you know what I'm saying, more like, you know, blood. Like, I guess like pus, I guess like a, you know what I'm saying, I gotta check on it to see if like, you know, I don't know a better word, a more scientific word for pus or whatever, but you know what I'm saying, that if you had something like that, like let's say if it was gushing out of you or flowing out of you, you was, you know what I'm saying, in that respect, you would be unclean for that. Anything that's flowing out of you or gushing out of you, you don't have, you know what I'm saying, it's uncontrollable, it's not able to be stopped, it's, you know, it's coming, you know, it's, you know, you can't clot it, you can't whatever, you're unclean, you know what I'm saying, until that thing gets dealt with. Matter of fact, if the brother, you know what I'm saying, the scripture that you had on it, is there a scripture? You got the, you already have the scripture pulled on it?
Con.
All right, go ahead and read that from the top.
Leviticus chapter 15, verse 1. And the Most High spake unto Moses and to Aaron, saying, speaking to the children of Israel, and say unto them, when any man hath a running issue out of his flesh, because of his issue he is unclean.
Have a what?
Issue out of his flesh. Because of his issue he is unclean.
A running issue. Right? Meaning like you can't catch it. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not stopping. You know what I'm saying? If he has a running issue out of his flesh, go ahead.
Because of his issue he is unclean.
Go ahead.
Con. And this shall be his uncleanness and his issue, whether his flesh run with his issue or his flesh be stopped from his issue. It is his uncleanness.
Okay, God. So whether he be running with the issue or it be stopped, meaning once it's stopped, just like a woman on her period, right? If she, you know, let's say if a woman is on her period, you know, her period only run for 2 days or something like that. If it be stopped, she's still unclean for a certain amount of time, which is what this is going to tell you, you know what I'm saying? Wasn't you unclean, right? It stopped, and it was a running issue, but you know what I'm saying? So go ahead, read on.
Con. Verse 4, every bed whereon he lieth that have the issue is unclean, and everything whereon he sitteth shall be unclean. And whosoever toucheth his bed shall wash his clothes and bathe himself in water and be unclean until the even. And
right.
he.
So like this whole thing. Go ahead. Got some more. Go ahead.
There was another verse out of one. Verse 6. And he that sitteth on anything whereon he sat that hath the issue shall wash his clothes and bathe himself in water and be unclean until the even.
Right. So just like, like I was telling you earlier, it's about the spirit of the law. Let me ask, I asked one of the officers or one of the troopers, if y'all know, what is the point in this law? What is the spirit behind this law? Like, what's going on here?
Shalaki, if I may. He said,
you got to speak up, huh?
Shalaki, if I may.
Yeah.
He said true. Brotherhood, Adawan.
Say it again.
Brotherhood, Adawan.
I still didn't understand.
Brotherhood.
Brotherhood, okay, yeah, brotherhood for sure. That's the spirit of the law of God. Okay, but there's a word on why we do this. Why the Most High set it up like this. There's a specific word. You might have to be in the truth for a little while.
Salakia.
Salakia, Adawan.
Okay, good.
Go ahead. Be holy, sir.
Yeah.
That's not the word, but yeah, it's to be holy, it's to be separate from other people. That's correct. We ain't like them, which is why they have what they got going on in America. There's a word that, would explain the whole thing. Nobody got it?
Salakia.
Go ahead, Art.
I was going to say the quarantine.
Quarantine is the word, Art. You understand? Like, if you know what somebody real quick, give me the definition of quarantine. Like, quarantine is what this is about. It's something that the white man, he does it. He understands that because of us, because of the laws of the Most High. He understands that there's certain situations where people need to be holy or separate from other people. There's a certain situation where you need to be brotherly and make sure your brother or your sister don't end up with the same goddamn issue or the same situation or the same illness or sickness that you have. And so we quarantine to make sure, even though, like, listen, man, there are, what do they call them, bloodborne diseases. Mm-hmm. You understand? HIV/AIDS was running rampant, when I was younger. You know what I'm saying? You don't hear too much about it no more. It's still there, but it's by blood. You know what I'm saying? The NBA, they had to institute regulations and protocols. If somebody get scratched in the NBA game, you got to get out the game. And we got to get this thing stopped so that the blood don't get on nobody else. And that's what the scripture is. Any bed they sit on, anything they touch, it's unclean, man. Stay the hell away from that so you don't end up with HIV like Magic Johnson. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's to quarantine you and to separate you from everybody and everything else. You know what I'm saying? That sister that's on her menstrual, no, it's not, a menstrual cycle ain't gonna kill nobody. It ain't killing her. You know what I'm saying? But who knows what, she dealing with. She might have a nigga out the world, who was a homosexual from the IUIC. And she got AIDS. You know what I'm saying? We need to stay the hell away from her. At least for now, while she got this running issue. That brother, he might deal with whores on a regular and don't tell nobody about it. You know what I'm saying? He got a running issue. We need to separate him from everybody else so that the whole nation and everybody else don't end up with the same damn thing. You understand? Anybody got that definition? Go ahead. Quarantine. A state, period, or place of isolation in which people or animals that have arrived from elsewhere or been exposed to infectious or contagious disease are placed. Right. So a state is like a certain amount of time. You know what I'm saying? In the scripture, it tells you, that woman, she could be stopped. She could be stayed from that flow. You understand? She might not go a full 7 days, or it might not go however long it goes. It might be 2, but until we gonna make sure she gonna be separate for 7 days. She got a certain amount of time of quarantine where she won't be around other brothers. You you go to a funeral, you touch a dead body or a dead carcass, you are quarantined. Because who knows what the hell that dead body or that dead carcass or whatever, you're quarantined until, you know, a certain amount of time to make sure that you don't have some type of infection or some type of disease. You don't bring it around other brothers. And then on top of that, hell, the Lord just said, you know what I'm saying, that's what he wants. In order for men to do the work of the Most High, you have to be clean. You can't be, you know, common. You can't be like everything and everybody else around you. You know what I'm saying? So that's all. That's the spirit of it. Like, it's to make sure that, you know, first of all, you follow the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High. Second of all, brothers and sisters don't end up the same situation or the same issue you got. You know what I'm saying? So that's what this is about. You know what I'm saying? You being on your menstrual, a man having some issue that he's dealing with. Let's find out what it is. So, you know, with the sister she asked about, you know, the older, you know, it might be something wrong. You might, you know, it might not be an issue, but in the spirit of brotherhood, I'm gonna make sure it's not, you know, something more serious. You know what I'm saying? So that I don't jam somebody else up. You know, so that's what you have to understand. Hopefully I answered this question. Go ahead.
Yeah, as far as the menstruation, you know, I remember I asked you, because, you know, some women, they spot too. It doesn't flow, because when you spot, you don't flow. It's just like a spot of blood. Sometimes that also means the menstruation is coming in to be a week ahead. You know, so, I mean, do you consider that, okay, you're unclean, even though it's not gushing?
No, you're unclean. You're done. You understand? Like, your menstrual cycle is that. It is a flow. It is, you know, an issue. You understand? So even if you're spotting or whatever, however y'all call it, if okay, let's say you've been on your period for 2 weeks and you're still spotting, there's still a flow of blood. It's still coming. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're bleeding and nobody cut you. It's an issue. It's coming out of your body. It's issuing out of your body. You understand? So you still have that issue. You're still on your menstrual. You know what I'm saying? I think it's right here where the brothers read, right? Whoever was reading. Is it here, you know, right here where it's talking about the menstruation? Who was reading the scripture?
He looking for it, sir. Salaki. I don't think it's right here though.
Verse 19.
All right, it's verse 19. Go ahead and read it.
Leviticus chapter 15, verse 19. And if a woman have an issue, and her issue in her flesh be blood, she shall be put apart 7 days. And whosoever toucheth her shall be unclean until the even. And everything that she lieth upon in her separation shall be unclean. Everything also that she sitteth upon shall be unclean. And whosoever touch.
So she's unclean for 7 days, right? Automatically, off the jump. It don't matter if it stopped. If she's got an issue, meaning if she's bleeding, she's automatically unclean for 7 days. It don't matter if it stopped on the first day. She's automatically set apart, quarantined for 7 days. Read on.
Come. And everything that she lieth upon in her separation shall be unclean. Everything also that she sitteth upon shall be unclean. And whosoever toucheth her bed shall wash his clothes and bathe himself in water until the evening.
Go ahead.
Come. And whosoever toucheth anything that she sat upon shall wash his clothes and bathe himself in water and be unclean until the evening. And if it be on her bed or anything whereon she sitteth, when he toucheth it, he shall be unclean until the evening. And if any man lie with her at all, and her flowers be upon him, he shall be unclean 7 days. And all the bed whereon he...
Right. So this is saying, first of all, if you touch anything, you know what I'm saying? Like, y'all understand living in America how these damn plagues and diseases work. You know what I'm saying? Listen, you can be in the same room with somebody with a damn cold. You ain't get nothing. You ain't get no saliva on you, nothing like that. But you end up with the cold because you was in the same room with them because you touched something that they touched. You know what I'm saying? This is how diseases are spread, right? So scripture is saying if the woman is on her cycle and you touch anything she touched, you unclean until the evening. You need to wash your hands, wash your clothes, wash your body. You know what I'm saying? You unclean until the evening. Just make sure. You know what I'm saying? But if it actually gets on you, you unclean for 7 days, just like she is. You know what I'm saying? If the actual, you know what I'm saying, when somebody cough on you and they saliva get all in your face, you know what I'm saying? It's like the same thing. I'm not saying that about colds, but, you know, you unclean for 7 days. You set apart for 7 days, just like she is. All right, read on. It'll tell you more about, you know, if she go past it, or you can skip me down to the part where it says about if she go past them 7 days.
Verse 25. And if a woman have an issue of her blood many days out of the time of her separation, or if it run beyond the time of her separation, all the days of the issue of her uncleanness shall be of the days of her separation. She shall be unclean.
Right, so the days of her separation are 7 days. Just because she came on it, if it stopped on the first day, she's still in her separation for 7 days regardless. Now, if it go beyond the days of her separation with the 7 days, if it go many days, she's still unclean. However long it go after that, she's still unclean until it's stopped, until it's over with. So, sister asking about it, spotting, it ain't stopped yet. It's still the same thing, the same reason why you was bleeding from day one. You're still bleeding today. It's spotting. Stay away. You know what I'm saying? Like, stay separate from everyone else until it's done. You know what I'm saying? Now, according to the law, 7 days is it. You know what I'm saying? You know, I guess some women or most women, whatever the case may be, it'll be over by 7 days. If it, for some reason, isn't done by 7 days, you're going to stay away for however long it's going on. If it go on too long, you're going to go to the physician, you're going to go to the doctor and find out what the hell is going on. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's happening? You know what I mean? Because it's been however long, I'm still, you know, I'm to the next month and it's still going on. So that's what it's saying, man. And all of this, the whole point of it is to be separate, to isolate yourself, to be quarantined, you know what I'm saying, for, you know what I'm saying, first of all, righteous, holy, you know, reasons, you know what I'm saying, with the Most High one. Second of all, for the spirit of brotherhood, you know what I'm saying, for, you know what I'm saying, cleanliness and, you know, righteousness. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's that. So, any more on that? You got any more out? 1 second.
Loud one.
All right, go ahead, sis.
Okay, as far as the 7 days being over, but because you know, of course, it's gradual, meaning it stops flowing, but it's still brown because it's dry blood. As far as it stopping, right? You pass your 7 days, but it's leading up to. So sometimes what happens is it can also leave an odor. Should it still pertain to that? For as long as there's just
where there is no law, there is no sin. Keep it. Listen, this is one thing. Like, I love the Most High and I love the truth for that reason, man. I love the Hebrew language for that reason. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, Salak, yes, sir. Salak, y'all want anybody else on the line? Yeah, he must have got us on mute. No, I didn't stop. I just took the camera off. All right, so what I would say, what the brother was trying to say, I know he'll probably be back in, is you ain't got to guess. When people start adding stuff on to what the scriptures say, and saying, well, you know, you could do that. You can make up a whole religion based on that. Oh, well, women can't wear dresses. The scripture ain't say women can't wear dresses. It say don't wear things that pertain to a man. Well, you can't eat this. This is the same thing that we was talking about when also the shot was bringing up about the meat. Well, you can't eat this. Or it's saying that you can eat all meat. That's not what it's saying. The law is very clear. And if you know what the law is, then you're able to follow the law. If you saying, you know what I'm saying, if it don't say nothing about an odor and you asking about an odor, then there is no law to say that you're unclean. In the spirit of brotherhood, you may separate yourself. In the spirit of brotherhood, somebody with high blood pressure may not eat beef or something like that, red meat or whatever the case may be, or whatever the case, you know what I'm saying? But they're not breaking the law. In the scriptures, and especially in the truth, what you want to find out is how to live according to the way the Lord said first. Because if you can follow these laws, statutes, and commandments, then you ain't got to try to guess and make up religions and make up rules and extra rules and all of this other stuff. The Lord already go. Who had that Romans? Itazab, you still got that Romans? If the other one, I don't know if the other one got cut off or what.
Okay,
read that again.
Okay. Romans chapter 7, verse 13 and 12. Right. Wherefore the law is holy, and the commandment holy, and just and good.
Everything about it. David said, thy laws are perfect. The things that the Lord told us, it's going to be enough for us to be able to live by that and not die. Right? So the question, like when you go into it, here's the point. Anything you add into it is religious. It's religious. It's just like if the Lord said a man can have as many wives and you say, well, dang good in these times. Well, okay, you don't trust what the Lord say. The Lord said, these are the beasts which you shall eat, the ox, the goat, the this. And you say, well, meat ain't good for you. You know what they putting in them chickens? Well, you going above and beyond. And they got this thing on the internet where somebody asked Commander General Yohana in a class, was anal sex a sin? And he said the exact same thing the brother was telling you. Where there is no law, there is no sin. The scriptures say the marriage bed is undefiled. What you do with your woman, you know what I'm saying? He was like, I can go into all kind of health reasons and things from a physical standpoint and medical reasons why it might not be a good thing to be doing, but you asking me whether or not it's a sin or not. And where there is no law, there is no sin. You get that, right, sis?
I like to make a disclaimer.
Go ahead. It's too late for that disclaimer. Go ahead. Go ahead. Hey, this on YouTube too.
I'm not asking these questions because
yeah, I know. I'm asking for a friend. I'm asking for a friend. I understand, sis.
I think I already done. I just have to ask.
No sweat.
I'm not trying to ask it privately. I was just trying to ask it in a way where it is.
No sweat.
You know, so,
listen, that ain't none of my business. Our job is to answer the question. All right. So you got the.
I asked you a question too now.
You got the question though, Officer Shawar. Are you back on the line? All right. All right. So give me. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just had a question about, a woman on the menstrual, like where it says that anything she lays upon, like your bed. Does that mean like if your wife would have her menstrual, or and you sleep on the same bed with her, you're also in clean even, right?
Until sundown, yeah. So like if you gotta go around the Akim, if you gotta go to camp, anything like that, or you gotta go to high holy day, anything like that, you want to make sure you either have her sleep somewhere else or you sleep somewhere else. I don't know how you run your house, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, you want to make sure you sleep in a different bed or something like that. Say, for instance, you're going out on camp the next day and your ribs on menstrual, or you're gonna be around the Akim, just make sure that you sleep somewhere else or she sleeps somewhere else. Otherwise, you're gonna be unclean until the following sundown. All right.
Oh God.
All right. Any other questions? I don't know how we got here, but we here. All right. I was gonna go into Gentiles cannot be saved today. All right. So one of the hardest things when I was coming into the truth, you got Hebrews 5 and 12. Give me Hebrews 5 and 12 real quick. Was learning, like, there's a lot of things I learned, but in this truth, what you're gonna find out is that everybody wants to say the white man, right? At the end of the day. And the Lord never had any kind of covenant or anything like that with him. He just, the only covenant he told him that Esau would be good with the sword, basically. That's it. He didn't promise him no land. Go ahead.
And that he can serve no servants.
Well, that he would serve, the elders would serve the younger. Yeah, of course. But what I'm saying, what I'm talking about, that is, like, he didn't promise him no kingdom. He didn't promise him no land. He didn't promise anything. Esau sold his birthright, so even the things that come from his father, he didn't get. All right? But anyways, when you get to the New Testament, you're going through Romans, and you're going through Hebrews, and you're going through all of these different things, Ecclesiastes, not Ecclesiastes, Ephesians, and all of these, what you would come to in the Christian churches, they'll tell you that these were all these different nations that the Lord was trying to save, and that Paul went out to these different nations, right? What you'll find out in the truth is that Paul never went out to no other nations. Paul was going through these nations in order to find other Israelites. Now, for the sake of time, I got maybe about 20 minutes. I thought y'all was just going to keep asking questions for the rest of the class. I do want to go ahead and break this down first. Go ahead and give me Hebrews 5 and 12. Let's go and get that. We didn't get that in this class. I want to make sure and get that in every class for everybody online. Go ahead.
Hebrews chapter 5, verse 12. For when for the time ye ought to be teachers, ye have need that one teach you again.
So now is the time where we should be teaching our children. We should be teaching our wives. We should be teaching younger brothers this law, statutes, and commandments, the truth about the God of the Bible, how he really feels, what he really wants, the things he like, the things he don't like. It's only one problem. All we know is Christianity. All we know is Islam. All we know is Buddhism and Rastafarianism and all these different things, like the scriptures say, tossed to and fro with different doctrines. This is all we know because we've learned the ways of the heathen. So at a time where we ought to be teachers, what?
Ye have need that one teach you again.
We have need that somebody teach us again. This is why when you coming into the truth, somebody say something like, well, a man can have more than one wife. You're like, where they do that at? Like, who says that? This is why Officer Shawan was saying what he was saying yesterday. It's okay for a man to be with a man, a woman to be with a woman, a man to be with somebody else's wife, a man to have a jump off, a side piece, but he cannot have more than one wife. It's ridiculous, right? We have need that somebody teach us again. What should they be teaching us? Go ahead.
Which be the first principles of the oracles of the power.
The first principles of the oracles of power, without everybody trying to get deep. What we need to know is thou shalt not. That's why I was perfect as far as with how Ottawa was going into it about, like, any question that's asked, instead of asking, is this right or is this wrong? Because that gives opinion. Is there a law against it? Is there a law that says you should do this? Is there a law that says you should not do that? And that's how you should govern yourself, based on the laws first. There is a spirit behind these laws that you'll learn how to, even though this is not breaking the law, this is not brotherly, you get there. But the first thing you got to do is learn how to follow and keep these laws, statutes, and commandments. Is that it?
Go
ahead.
And are become such as have need of milk.
They have become such as have need of what?
Milk.
Okay.
And not of strong meat.
So don't come in the truth trying to think you know everything and trying to grab how many times your house shot came and trying to understand the chariots and all this deep stuff. Think about this first. First of all, if you Black, Hispanic, or Native American Indian, You are the chosen people of God. Therefore, you have a promised land. You have a promised kingdom under Yahushua, right? And in order for you to grab a hold of that, what you have to do is accept that you are those people and come back to the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High, which is as clear as day. Thou shalt and thou shalt not. Ain't nothing deep about it. You ain't got it. We ain't gonna speak it to you in a tongue that you ain't never heard before. It's gonna be just like you learned everything else. All right. We could drop that. Get me Gentile right here. Somebody tell me what a Gentile is. No officers or troopers. Young men, tell me what a Gentile is. Go ahead. 1 second. I got a brother here. Go ahead. Nice and strong. So you can hear you.
A Gentile in the Old Testament is a heathen, the other nations. And in the New Testament, a Gentile would be us Israelites that were born in America and that were following American cultures.
Who? Somebody else had said Salaki. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Gentile Israelites that wasn't following the laws, statutes, and commandments.
Okay.
Strangers.
Okay, y'all both almost said the same thing, and y'all both wrong. I'm gonna tell y'all. Go ahead, young man.
A Gentile would be someone who is not of Israel or an Israelite that calls themselves something other than Israelite.
You almost said this. You almost said the same thing as Trey. By its base, the word Gentile means what?
Salakia.
Go ahead.
Stranger.
No. Go ahead, sis.
Does it start with an H?
No, the brother already said heathen.
No. I was thinking of something else.
Okay.
All right.
No, by definition, the Gentile, the word in the Hebrew, it just means nation. That's what it means, nation, right? Because the Bible is written from a Hebrew Israelite perspective, and everybody in the Bible is Israelites. Other nations are Gentiles, but Israel is a nation, right? So how the brothers was breaking it out, they was right. Meaning a Gentile could be heathens or other nations outside of Israel, which it is most of the time when you hear in the Old Testament or the so-called Old Testament. And in the New Testament, it could be a heathen or another nation as well. It's not always in the New Testament that it's an Israelite. You have to go off context. Brother's going to read the Zondervan Bible Dictionary, what it says about Gentiles. Listen carefully. Go ahead.
Gentiles, Zondervan Bible Dictionary. Hebrew, goy. Plural, goyim. Gaya. Salaki. Nation, people. The King James Version translates the Hebrew word as Gentiles 30 times. People, 11 times.
People.
Heathen, 142 times.
Heathen.
And nation, 373 times.
You see that? It's translated to nation more times than it's translated to Gentile. Keep going.
Come. This being the usual translation also in the ASV, the RSV, and the NIV.
None of that matters. Go ahead.
Come. Sometimes goy refers to Israel.
Sometimes what?
Goy refers to Israel.
Sometimes this word refers to Israel. Go ahead.
Come. Translated nation or people.
Translated in the nation of people. Go ahead.
Come. In KJV as well as in other versions. In the New Testament, Greek ethnos, Gentiles in the New Testament is a translation of goy, while Laos corresponds to Hebrew.
What? I can't see. Hellenes?
Right before Hellenes. Whatever it is.
Yeah. Am.
Am.
Oh.
Like it. Hellenist is translated Gentiles. In KJV, Greeks. In ASB, RSB, John 7:35. Slightly. And both ways in the New International Version. In times of peace, considered treatment was accorded Gentiles under Old Testament law.
Okay, stop right there. All right. So basically, it means nation, it means people, it means Gentile, it means heathens, it means all of these different things. So you have to go into context when you're looking at this. All right. The bottom line of what I was bringing this out, and we was going to go into it, is an Israelite can become a heathen. How does an Israelite become a heathen? Go ahead.
I was going to say that an Israelite becomes a heathen by following heathen ways.
By following heathen ways. I give y'all an example. Give me Exodus chapter 12. Exodus chapter 12, verse 15.
Exodus chapter 12, verse 15. 7 days shall ye eat unleavened bread.
This is talking about the feast of unleavened bread. 7 days shall you eat it. Go ahead.
Eat the first day. Ye shall put away leaven out of your house.
We get ready for the Passover. Y'all get ready to kick all that stuff out your house for a whole week. Go ahead.
For whosoever eateth leavened bread from the first day until the 7th day, that soul shall be cut off from Israel.
That soul shall be what?
Cut off from Israel.
It's an Israelite, but they not an Israelite no more because they were cut off. Give me Exodus chapter 31, verse 14. Where's Bakwash at when you need him? Go ahead.
Exodus chapter 31, verse 14. Ye shall keep the Sabbath, therefore, for it is holy unto you.
Right.
Everyone that followeth it shall surely be put to death.
Oh my goodness. Go ahead.
For whosoever doeth any work therein, that soul shall be cut off from among his people.
You an Israelite, but you ain't Israel no more. These are things the Lord said, if you do, you will be cut off from your people. You are not in Israel no more. Give me Leviticus 7 and 27. It's good to know the law. I know y'all ain't never going to all this in your Christian church. It's good to know these things because this is what dictates what's right and wrong. This is what tells you what you can do and what you can't do. This is what tells you the part that you don't understand about how we can say something. We be reading the same book the pastor's reading, but he get a whole different thing because he don't know the law. He don't know the spirit behind it. So whoever got it, let's go.
Leviticus.
I got the trooper got it. Go ahead. Go ahead, trooper.
Leviticus chapter 7, verse 27. Whatsoever soul it be that eateth any manner of blood.
Eat of what?
Any manner of blood.
Yeah, we don't eat bloody steaks and all that. Go ahead.
Even that soul shall be cut off from his people.
Shall be cut off from his people. Who is his people? That's Israel. Give me Leviticus 17 and 10. Go ahead.
Leviticus chapter 17, verse 10. And whatsoever man there be of the house of Israel.
Of who?
Of the house of Israel.
Go ahead.
Or of the strangers that sojourn among you.
See it, say it right there, the strangers. Go ahead.
That eateth any manner of blood.
Anybody who eat blood, whether it's somebody working for you, somebody that's one of your servants, whatever. Go ahead.
I will even set my face against that soul that eateth the blood.
The Lord don't want nobody to eat it, not even the heathens. Go ahead.
And will cut him off from among his people.
All right, give me drop down to verse 14.
Leviticus chapter 17, verse 14. For it is the life of all flesh. The blood of it is for the life thereof. Therefore I said unto the children of Israel, ye shall eat the blood of no manner of flesh, for the life of all flesh is the blood thereof. Whosoever eateth it shall be cut off.
Y'all get the point, right? There's a way that the Lord will cut you off. You don't follow the Passover. You don't keep the Passover. You eat blood. You don't keep the Sabbath. If you go into Leviticus 20 and talk about if you invite your children to Moloch, if you give me Matthew chapter 18, verse 17. Go ahead.
Book of Matthew, chapter 13, verse 17. And if he shall neglect to hear them, tell it unto the church.
Now, this is talking about if two brothers have a issue against each other, right? And you went to the brother and him alone, and he didn't hear you, or he wasn't feeling what you were saying. Then you went to him and two other brothers, and then they wasn't hearing you. Now it says, if he neglect to hear you, you tell it to the entire body. Go ahead.
But if he neglect to hear the church, let him be unto thee as a heathen man and a publican.
So this is an Israelite that we talking about. Probably was a brother in the school, but now you had an alt with that brother. You done went before him. Y'all done went before the captains. Now the generals done heard, the captains and everybody, and they came down that this is the order, this is who was right, and he don't want to hear it. Well, guess what? The brother done fell out the truth. You cannot treat him like a brother in the truth no more. He is like a heathen. You have to deal with him. If you have a problem with him, then he's going to take you to court. He is not. All Israel ain't Israel on every understand. Y'all understand what I'm saying, right? Y'all understand the point.
Hey, Salaki, if I could.
Go ahead, kind of sir.
Hey man, I was waiting on it, man. You ain't bring that scripture yet, man. But that's what the officer just said is exactly it, man. That precept. I don't know if you was about to bring it or not, man. That
Romans 9. Go ahead and grab. The problem when I get the wrong, so like you said, if I could, I was going to say every time I go to Romans 9, I end up doing the whole chapter for some reason.
Hey man, it's necessary. That's the joint right there, bro. But yeah, that like what the officer is bringing out, that's so true, man. It's so heavy, like. Everybody that's Israel ain't Israel, man. Here's your precept right here, man. You go to Romans 9 and 6. Read that, because, you know, it's everything. It's like what I was taught when I came in, you know what I'm saying, young coming into the truth. You know, I was always asking the question, man. It would be crazy when I hear brothers and sisters ask me, like, why my mama, why my daddy don't want to hear it. You know what I'm saying? Because even though we all Israelites, man, we ain't all Israelites, man. Like what he was just bringing, man. This is the scripture, man. Paul was saying. So one of y'all, whoever got it, man, you can read that Romans 9 and start at verse 6.
Khan. Romans chapter 9, verse 6. Not as though the word of God have taken none effect, for they are not all Israel, which are of Israel.
Right, they are not all Israel, which are of Israel, man. Meaning everybody that is an Israelite by blood, because they are of or they come from the nation of Israel, or that man, Jacob, whose name got changed to Israel. Even though we all come from him, we are not Israel in spirit, man. And that's what, like I said, it's one thing I learned when I came into truth. Got beat into my head by Captain Mashak and Captain Kazaryak, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a spiritual. Everything is spiritual, man. Everything that you thought you understood in the world, man, it's why the Christian church is so jammed up, man. It's why IUIC and GMS is so jammed up, because the way they see things is carnal, man. The way they see things is the way they like the thing to be, and not the way the spirit or the Most High likes things to be. You understand? The scripture says this, that the Most High is a spirit, and those that worship him must worship him in spirit and in truth, man. Everything is about spirit, man. It's something that, you know, like I say, You know what I'm saying? You get this 101 in a high second, you're going to see the spirit on everything, man. Every goddamn news brief you see, man. Everything you see in the world with your people, you know what I'm saying? Your friends, your family, you're going to start seeing the spirit. You know what I mean? You know, also Kazak used to laugh at me, man, like, because I was always asking that because of the brothers that raised me up. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's the spirit behind that? Because I started seeing everything spiritual, man. I started seeing like, what the fuck do that mean? Salaki, you know what I'm saying? What the hell is you talking about? Why are you asking that? What's the reason why you asking that? If y'all pay attention, if y'all be in General Muhammad's class on Thursday, you know what I'm saying? Somebody will ask a question and it'd be like, I need more on it. It's not that he don't understand what they're saying. He wants the spirit on what the hell they asking. You know what I'm saying? So that's what this scripture is talking about, that they are not all Israel that are of Israel, man, because even though we are the Lord's chosen people by blood, man, by, you know what I'm saying, by our bloodline, man, by who our father is, we all don't have that same spirit, man. You know what I'm saying? Israelites, the ones that call for Yahweh's murder.
Right.
We are not all Israel that are of Israel, is what this is saying, man. So, you know, everything, you know what I'm saying, all those scriptures that Officer Kazak is bringing out, you know what I mean? Like, this is the combination of the whole thing, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? We are not all Israel, man. Some of us is Gentiles, man. Some of us is walking around here as, you know, Kemetic, you know, Christian, Muslim, what the hell ever else it is, man. We ain't Israel. We don't have the spirit of the Most High. We don't worship the Most High in spirit, man. We worship him in word, man. We worship him in, you know what I'm saying, some philosophy or some dumb crap we done came up with in this earth, man. So that's it.
No sweat, sir. I'll definitely go into it. The whole point was so they can see that the Lord will cut you off. You could. It's like you can have the blood and still be cut off, but if you don't have the blood, you're not the people. It don't work the other way around.
Right. Never stood a chance.
Right.
All right, Salakia, you know what I'm saying? Listen, I jumped the gun. I was waiting. I was listening to all the other scriptures. I came back in, man. Salakia, I ain't gonna say nothing else, man. Get it in.
Salakia, sir. Anybody who in this class, they know I might say it all the time. I was like, man, in my coming out of the Christian church days, I believe I had to go to Romans 9 every single week. So it ain't. We would not hesitate to go there.
Even in Romans 9, man, y'all will learn it, man. It's right there, bro. Everything you need to know in Romans 9, man. But shoot, man, it also because I definitely get that right there. So I'm gonna jump on off of here, man. I just want to come in and get something in, man. I'll be missing y'all brothers, man, y'all sisters, man. So you know what I mean, go ahead and rock on. I'll get you later, bro. Hit me up.
The water, sir, and I just I was talking to Austin the Shock earlier. I see your brother get boot kids, your brother get raised up the officers, man. I remember when it was me and you, sir, and the Lord doing great things down here. Thanks to your diligence.
Right, bro, man. Listen, man, you missing everything, bro. Shit, man, you missing everything, man. Lord, I'm gonna call your job and get your ass fired.
Most High in Christ, sir. Most High in Christ. That's a lot of
Most High in Christ, man.
Trooper, y'all say, can you call his too?
I got both of y'all, man. I'm gonna get all y'all, bro.
Damn,
you young and Rakafi, man. I'm getting all of that. Listen, man, it's a beautiful thing, man. Like the officer is saying, man. It was at one time, just me and Kazak down here, man, and that brother definitely helped me to see, like, shoot, man, this might be the truth, man. I was starting to doubt it. You know what I'm saying? Like, ain't nobody trying to hear this truth, man. This brother came in hardcore, man. Y'all see y'all right, man. So, you know what I mean? Everybody, you know, y'all brothers that's coming up in here, y'all sisters coming in here, man. You just got to hold strong, man. The same way Commander Junior Johanna did, same way I did, same way Kazak did, man. And you'll see. You know what I mean? You know, we'll be waiting for them chariots to crack the sky. We'll be waiting for Yahweh to crack the sky, man. And you know, like verify. You know what I'm saying? That's not even a word I'm looking for. I can't even look. You know what I'm saying? What's the word I'm looking for, man?
Solidify.
That's not it. That's not it, man. But you know, with that, yeah, all of that. You know what I'm saying? Why are we doing what we doing, man? You know what I'm saying? We giving up, like Christ said, man. We giving up wives and fathers and all of that, man. And you gonna receive 100-fold, man, for the work that you're doing, man, for the faith that you're showing in the Most High and in the law, statutes, and commandments, and everything else can go somewhere, you know, for that. So, I mean, y'all continue to get it in, man. It's good to have these brothers with me, man. I consider myself, you know what I'm saying, blessed above a whole lot of people, man, because of these brothers, man, and nothing else, man. So, y'all brothers, go ahead and get it in, man. We'll jump on up out of here, man. I'll get with you later.
All right, shalom, sir. Y'all, Bashim Shorgita.
All right, shalom, Makim, shalom, Akwadim, Yahweh Bashim, Yahweh Shah, Barakatum, Yahweh Bashim, Shalaki, Yahweh Shamar, Bashim, Yahweh Shah. Shalom, Yahweh Bashim,
Hey, it's so crazy. Like he brought up them chariots, just so y'all know, ain't no heathens getting on them chariots, man. You can't bring your friend. You can't bring, you know what I'm saying, that thick white girl you saw. She ain't coming. No, none of them ain't coming. And the thing is, like, when we get into these Gentile scriptures and things like that, the reason why we even have to go through this is because people missing. They don't understand the history behind what happened. If you go in 2 Kings 17, the Lord put all Israel out of his sight. If you go into the book of Maccabees, when Antiochus and all of them started coming on the scene, you couldn't say you. As a matter of fact, let's get that. You want a 2 Maccabees chapter 6. Every time we go to Gentiles and we start talking about Gentiles in the New Testament, you're going to get a Christian that's going to be like, nah, this is all people. They're going to bring up John 3:16, which we break down. You can go to any ISUBK video and see the breakdown on that. You got it? 2 Maccabees chapter 6.
What verse?
Verse 6. Verse 5. Check this out real quick. They're gonna kick us out of the library in about 10 minutes, so I'm gonna try to get these in. Go ahead.
2 Maccabees chapter 6, verse 5. The altar also was filled with profane things.
This is what Esau started to do as they started to take over and keep the children of Israel captive under Antiochus and all of them people that was up under Alexander the Greek. Go ahead.
Which the law forbid.
So they had all kind of profane things on the altar and all this other stuff, breaking all the laws right there in the temple. Go ahead to verse 6.
Neither was it lawful.
It was against the law
for a man to keep Sabbath day.
So the sister asked about the Sabbath day, and she said it's hard medical fit every other Saturday out. What she don't know is we in slavery. I work at a liquor store. Liquor gets sold on nights and weekends. Right now, somebody is in there selling Esau's liquor. Otherwise, I wouldn't be there. So I can get Monday to have my little class, but Lord forbid I try to get the Sabbath off. Lord forbid. I get one a month, sis. You say you get every other Saturday. You doing better than me, sis. The water to the Most High for that. One day we gonna be able to put Esau in chains. And guess what? I'm gonna give him the Sabbath off. Why is that? Somebody tell me why I'm gonna get Esau the Sabbath off. All right, well, brothers. I got two brothers in here. Go ahead, Trooper.
It's the law.
Because it's the law. It's the law of the Lord. Now, Esau, Lord said, neither was it lawful for a man to keep the Sabbath day. What else was it not lawful to do? Keep reading.
Or ancient feasts.
You couldn't keep no feast days either. Go ahead.
Or to profess himself at all to be a Jew.
You couldn't even profess yourself to be a Jew. So you wonder how we get to Romans, and these are Israelites calling themselves Romans, and Ephesians, and these are Israelites calling themselves Ephesians, and Philippians, and Paul being a Roman, and all of this other stuff. And when we get to Christ, and they have to take him down into Egypt and different stuff like that. And when you get to 70 AD, and they running from Roman persecution into Africa, and now you in America talking about you are African American. This is why. All of the history is right here in the Bible, from the Lord cutting you off if you ain't following keep the Sabbath, to him cutting you off when you ain't keep the Passover. I know a full 30 years of my life I did not keep the Passover. Guess what? I was cut off. I was a Gentile. I was a heathen. And without Christ, I was not able to come back in. All right? Everybody understand that, right?
Come.
All right, so get me, I'll get it real quick. We'll get one more thing. It's called, let me see if I can find it real quick. It's a word that starts with E. Oh, diaspora. Give me diaspora in the Donovan Bible Dictionary. Diaspora, real quick. Nah, they got this thing now where they don't want. They talking about. You have some clowns on Facebook talking about the Native American Indians and Issachar. It's not the people of the book. It's not the 12 tribes of Israel. When there's more Israelite artifacts found here in America on the Native Indian reservations than any other where in the world, including Israel. This is all history. You wouldn't know that though. But you got to know why we saying what we saying. Go ahead and give me diaspora real quick.
Diaspora, Zondervan Bible Dictionary. See dispersion. Dispersion, Greek. Diaspora, that which is sown. The name applied to the Jews living outside of Palestine and maintaining their religious faith among Gentiles.
Doing what? The Jews living outside of Palestine and what?
Maintaining their religious faith among the Gentiles.
This would be Paul. This would be all of the brothers who was not in Jerusalem. This would be nowadays, it would be Commanding General Yohanan. It would be Officer Shawar. It would be the Jews living outside of Jerusalem and maintaining their faith. Keep going.
God had warned the Jews through Moses that dispersion among other nations would be their lot if they departed from the Mosaic law.
This is Deuteronomy 28 that we always bring out, right? The Lord warns you that he's going to scatter you if you ain't do what he said. Keep going.
These prophecies were largely fulfilled in the two captivities.
In the two captivities, do it name them?
By Assyria and Babylonia.
By Babylon and Assyria. Then even after that, the Greeks. Keep going.
Especially from the time of Alexander the Great.
See, there it is right there. We just talked about it. Go ahead.
Many thousands of Jews immigrated for the purposes of trade and commerce into the neighboring countries, particularly the chief cities. By the time of Christ, the dispersion must have been several times the population of Palestine.
By the time Christ came, there were more Israelites outside than actually in Jerusalem. Several times the size of Palestine. Because everywhere we go, we make babies. That's how we went into Egypt, small group of people, and came out a great nation. It's how we in America with abortion clinics on every one of them. Sisters that had 5 abortions and she still got 6 or 7 kids. Don't let us get on Ephraim. Keep going out.
The synagogues in every part of the known world helped greatly in the spread of Christianity. For Paul invariably went to them in every city he visited.
Paul went to the dispersed, right? The dispersed, right? The diaspora in every city he visited. So who was Paul going to, y'all? Somebody on the line. Make sure y'all stay here with me. Y'all understand why we're going through this. Who was Paul going to? Anybody? Is this an officer? Let me see if anybody else can get it. I know you know. Go ahead.
I was going to say the Gentiles.
What Gentiles?
The ones that are Israelites calling themselves Gentiles.
Right. What you have to understand is Paul followed Christ, right? Paul didn't make this stuff up. He followed Christ. Give me Matthew chapter 10, verse 5. And we'll probably end it on that one tonight. And I'll go into this a little bit more in depth. You got it? Let's go.
Matthew chapter 10, verse 5. These 12 Yahweh sent forth and commanded them, saying,
he gave them the order. He sent them and gave them the order, and this is what he told them. Go ahead.
Go not into the way of the Gentiles.
What Gentiles is this talking about? Somebody who's on the line. What Gentiles is this talking about? Go ahead.
The other nations?
The other nations. How do you know? Keep reading.
And into any city of the Samaritans enter ye not.
These were the people that were surrounding them. Don't go here. Don't go to the heathens. Don't go to the Samaritans. Go to verse 6.
But go rather.
But this is who you're going to go to. Now, really keep in mind, Paul followed Christ. But go rather.
To the lost sheep.
To the who?
To the lost sheep.
Okay.
Of the house of Israel.
To the lost sheep of the house of Israel. This is who Christ came to save. This is who the Gentiles that Paul, go to James 1:1 real quick. Paul ain't make up nothing. Everything he was doing under rank and order and structure. The whole breakdown, we're going to bring it out next week where he had to go and answer to Peter them about who he was going to. Go ahead with James 1:1.
James chapter 1, verse 1. James, a servant of the power and of the Lord, Yahushua Mashiach, to the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad.
The same people that Christ told him to go to, James was going through, Paul went to, Peter went to, they all went to the same people. Some of them went to the ones that was in Jerusalem, others went to the people that was outside. It's no different. At the end of the day, when he was talking about spirit, everybody the white man, but the white man will not be saved. Thus saith the Lord. Let me tell you, the white man will be saved. The ones that will be saved is the ones that's going to be in James. All right. So we want to save some of them because I need some work done. Anybody got any questions on that? On the topic. All right, we're gonna get some more in the next week. With that, go ahead, sis.
One quick question. On topic, when we have our kingdom in the white, the other nations are slaves. This as how we I don't know if I can say mistreat, but how we return the favor, we can also do it to the other heathens. I mean, I know white men will probably get it worse, but we can also do the same to the other nations, right?
Well, the whole thing about being in rulership is as long as you ain't breaking the laws of God, you can do what you want to do. So whatever your Adonai sees fit to have done on your way, you know what I'm saying? Like Officer Shawar always bring up that he's going to have, instead of a sprinkler, he's going to have Esau spit on his grass to water his grass. I might have something different that I might want my slaves to do besides just spitting all day. You know what I'm saying? That's his thing. If he's in rulership, we all trying to earn a crown so that we can do things the way we want to do it. We done did it how the heathens want to do it for far too long. So yeah, we'll be able to do whatever we want to do, man. Hey, get it in. You know what I'm saying? That's the whole point. That's why we doing all this work. So we can return them double. All right.